What's good, everybody? This is Y and Z, simply a conversation between the generations. I represent the Y, Jay Clark, millennial. That young whippersnapper over there is the Z,
Hold
Xavier
on. I want him to
Lewis,
see my whole face.
or that young face, that year older face. How's it feel being another year older? You celebrated your birthday last week. How
Yeah,
you feeling?
man. In that good old deuce 22 out here. You know what I'm saying? I feel one step closer to 75. You know what I'm saying?
Real full
It's
adult
great.
years now. You know,
Man, what?
you past
And,
legal now. You
and I'm
really
gonna tell you what was really hitting my mind. I'm like, man, I'm getting closer and closer to the age where people just expect me to be an adult. Like, that's not cool. At 21, nobody really still expects you to have everything together. Like, you're 21, but 22 is one step closer to 25. And by 25, people be having you be expecting you to be like, okay, you pay your own bills. So what? Like, no, that ain't cool with me. That ain't cool. That ain't cool with me.
yeah, participation trophies definitely on the way out for you. You know,
Bruh,
there's
it
a lot
just
more
gets thrown
expectation.
out the window. Man, but how you been, brother?
It's a lot going on in this world, man. Just trying to keep it together, trying to keep the head right, but I can't be mad. You know, did my first barbecue competition over the weekend. Actually, so
Yeah,
if you
man.
follow me, you saw that. That was
I want to, and so I guess I'm gonna segue into, I guess I'm gonna take the reins
okay.
right quick.
Go ahead. Go
With the
ahead.
first segment here, man. So being a millennial, and I was watching you, and I looked at you do it, and I looked at a few of your pictures, man, and I was like, Clark really looked like he's enjoying himself. So I wanna ask you, as years progress, what are some things that you was just like, nah, I don't really get down with this anymore that you did in your 20s, right? Because some interests do change, and some environments, some scenes change, right? And I mean, 9 out of 10, you're not gonna see most early 20-year-olds at a barbecue competition participating. That's probably something you do later on in your life after you've been a little more experienced at the pit or whatever. But like, what are some things that you kind of lost interest in the older you got?
It's funny. I'll put it. I mean, I'll start it this way because it was funny. You know, we were sitting out there Saturday, and some friends stopped by, and my son was out there, her kids was out there. And it's the daddy. Can we go to the park? Can you take us to the park? Can you that need to always wanting to be do something. And I remember that because I remember it as a kid myself, like, whether it be on vacation or whatever, like, hey, dad, can we go do this? Can we go do this? And I'm sitting there like, and I told her at one point, I was like, didn't realize how much I enjoy that time now where nothingness. Just we're just, we were sitting out in a parking lot in some chairs, and I'm just like, I'm good. And so it's funny, like
Yeah,
it's funny,
yeah.
it's funny. The older I get, the simpler things need to be. Like when I was your age, them late nights, them club runs, the whateverness of life. Like I'm here for it all. Like, oh, party kicking off at midnight? Yeah, sure, I'm down for that. Nowadays, hell no. I ain't you trying to get me to leave the house after 10 p.m.? No, no, sir. That ain't happening. But I mean, really, it comes down to overall, it's just, yeah, that spirit of peace. Like I that's not to say I won't enjoy turn up moments now, but it's few and far in between. Am I
Right,
really
right.
trying to go to a club like that right now? No. Am I trying to be blackout drunk? No. Well, I still sip on some liquor and yeah, and enjoy it, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just the
yeah.
simpler things that need to always be plugged in and doing things like those. I don't have that desire like that anymore. Here's what it reminds me. There was, I forget what it was that inspired the tweet a couple weeks ago, but it was something about, oh, it was somebody, I feel like it was somebody younger, your generation, wondering why millennials always want to be in the house. And I was like,
That's because y'all was outside.
one, we was outside, but here's what it is now. I've paid for that house. So
Yeah.
I'm spending money. I'm gonna enjoy it. But all my conveniences are in the house. My food is in the house. My
I
liquor
could have
is
a
in
nice little turn up at the house if I wanted to.
my my liquor at the house. My games are at the house. My wife with all what she has is at the house. So I don't need to go out. It's all at the house. So yeah.
I think it's just interesting to see like certain stuff just kind of dies away, and I mean it's all natural and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I mean even me, so I took off from Friday to Tuesday, well no Friday to Monday, so I took off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday from work, just kind of celebrate or whatever. Now, did I really do anything? No. The day of my birthday, let me tell you what I did for the majority of the day. I slept. I mustered up enough strength, like towards the end of the day, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna grab a bite to eat by myself or whatever. Did that. Only stayed at the restaurant for like 45 minutes because you know what I was saying in my mind? I'm ready to go lay back down. Because I was just tired. I was just tired. The day after that, I had to get up and I had a gig back in Mississippi, so about a 3-hour drive there.
Hmm.
So I'm doing that. That's what my day after that. After that, you got church Sunday. And Monday, I was just kind of chilling out, went and made some groceries. I cooked. I mean, like, it's just kind of like it's all settling in of what it really, really means to have something that you've paid for. Like, I really, really understand that more now.
Hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, the whole concept of we got food at home is just so we don't have to buy nothing else. But why would I buy something else? And I already bought something that's available.
It's there.
And that's
It's
the
there.
same way I feel about, like you said, why leave my home when I got everything I need here? I could lay up and watch a movie at home, in my bed, by myself, in the comfort of my own thoughts, my yells, my screams. I can play my game, have a good time.
Hmm.
Anything that I need is at this apartment that I pay for, that I just paid the rent for today. And I'm going to get the most out of this rent. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? So I completely understand. Now, of course, members of my generation, if they got it, they just got it, or they don't have to worry about it. But I think the more financially conscious you become, that is what kind of puts a break on a lot of social activities, because you realize, and especially nowadays, outside is high. You breathe outside, you can spend $100.
It's I feel like it's $100 door fee to go outside my own house. Um,
It's crazy. Like, there's no way you want me to come to the club, pay an entry fee. Let's not even talk about sections. Let's not even talk about that, because sections are a scam.
I was never
You
a fan
want
of
me to
those.
pay over $1,000 to sit in a section? Is then I still have to buy 2 bottles on top of that minimum. you, no, I'll stand. I'll come in some Crocs if I got to. I'm gonna stand.
I was not mad to put that phase of life behind me. Like, but it comes. Like I said, it's all about what phase of life you're in. Like I said, at your age, when I was in my like at your age, I'm just graduating college. So
Right, right.
literally, like, at this point, it's 14 years. Shit. Yeah.
Oh my God, guys,
Damn.
he's old. He's old.
But so like at 22, it was okay. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like even Sunday.
Back to back to back to
What's the
back.
move? Like especially that area when I was in DC, like there was always a move to be made. But now it's like, nah, I ain't. I guess work. I guess like, and even then it's like I understand wanting to go out. It's like okay, I'm, and at that point it's like okay, I'm trying to find these things I'm looking for that I want to have later in life. So if I want a wife and I want the marriage, I need to be in some of these spaces or making effort to find a person to spend that time with, or and that's not going to happen inside my house. But now I don't have that need. I found it. I locked it down. We just
Right.
enjoying our time together.
And I don't want people in my generation to think that that's boring. You could still find, like you said, like sitting in the parking lot of some chairs, you feel amazing.
It was good. That was the
Peaceful.
life. That was the
Man,
life.
what? And so I don't want people to think that just because it's not fast paced, just because it isn't that it isn't still enjoyable, right? And even in the corporate space, I've learned, like, even sometimes just like at a little corporate reception or whatever, you could still have a great time. Of course, they ain't in there blasting Bone Thugs and Harmony, or
Mhm.
the music that I'm particularly used to, but you'll still learn to find the things that you like in any space if you just take the time with the space, right? A lot of times, I mean, we talked about this, I mean, over the last few episodes. how impatient my generation can be, not taking the time to want to like let yourself acclimate to certain spaces. But I mean, if we want the things that we really say that we want, we have to learn to kind of conform to certain spaces.
You have to conform and you have to let things happen at their own pace. Like you hear this a lot in financial worlds, and I just saw an email this morning. Like, you got to plan backwards. Like, okay, if I want to be here, or if I want to obtain this, this is the work that's going to require to put in to get there.
Right,
And
right,
it's
right.
and it's the same thing with trying to get a house, trying to have a long-term marriage or whatever it may be. Like day one is not going to look like day 500.
Nah,
But to get to day
nah.
500, you have to have day one.
Right, right.
Like, and so I think that's the beauty of this is like we're in two different phases of life, different days of, you may be ahead of me in some things, I may be behind you in some things, and vice versa,
Right.
whatever it may be. But it's knowing that have an idea, you got to know what joy is for you. You got to know how you like to spend your time because knowing that and allowing that to fit wherever you may be in life can dictate everything else.
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the most dangerous things of my generation that's being brought to a mass scale is just generalization and normalizing a lot of things that should not be made normal. Like, why are we normalizing what success looks like, or why are we normalizing what joy and happiness looks like? Because it looks different for everybody. And so if you get a person who doesn't kind of really understand that these things are specific to each person, then they'll try to mimic what the normal is. And if they can't achieve that, then they're like, oh my God, I'm a failure, or I don't have that success, or I'm not happy because it's not the same happiness that it doesn't look like what they look like. And so I think that's a very, very dangerous space to go into when we start normalizing things that should be specific to the person.
Let me
So
push
your
back on that a little bit, and I'm glad you went there
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because part of what I wanted to talk about today is how there's so much out there. And I think part of the problem is right now, I think we do need a normalization of what success looks like because right now, unfortunately, we are so overwhelmed and seeing all the different ways that success is trying to be portrayed. Because let's be honest, some of these things that we see
Right,
as
right,
successful
right,
aren't successful at all. It's literally just a thin layer veil that like, hey, I am successful, but like reading right now, it's like, hey, I'm successful. I'm in this nice room, got this nice mic, this nice computer. The minute this falls back, I'm in a trailer or a dumpster, and
right,
it's
right,
not what it appears to be. And so I think part of the problem is you're getting so many inputs, you don't know what it is for you. Like you're
right. I
seeing you're
think
seeing it everywhere, what it is for everybody, their individual journey, but we don't know as a whole this is what it should be because it is so tailored to you or
right.
me, in my experience.
I think, but I think normalizing it still wouldn't necessarily help the problem. I think what would help alleviate the congestion or whatever we can, like, sometimes the frustrations that we feel is just if we talk more about how to figure out a person, just like knowing you, because I think we don't do a lot of that. I think one of the ways that in my childhood, other people's childhood, most time, especially in Black communities, let's be honest, we're not really taught how to discover ourselves. We're told what we're gonna do with our life. Oh, you gonna be this, you gonna be that. Sometimes it's a what you want to be, and them answers was always normally doctor, lawyer, nurse, athlete, something like that,
Mhm.
businessman, something like that. And I think it was just like these generalized areas. Now I do think, to your point, I do think we need like generalized areas of what success is, so that way we can filter these successes, right? These things
Mhm.
that look like success, but it's not really success. They need some form of a baseline to be compared to, so we can measure success. But I think normalizing success at the end of the day still might have more people feeling like, oh, I'm not successful because my success doesn't look like their success.
It's trying to find the Venn diagram, that middle ground of the situation. Because yes,
Yes.
it is that balance. It is that, okay, this is what it is for me. And then there's also the, okay, what is the outside forces defining it as? And it's finding that balance. Because yes, at the end of the day, what's joyful for you, what's successful for you is for you. Personal as hell. You got to know it, own it. That's great. But the problem is, especially I think we see with your generation a lot,
Yeah.
is even those who may know it, like, okay, this is joyful for me, this is what success is going to be, you guys still feel a fear of anxiety if that doesn't match up with the mainstream or what
Yeah.
outside forces are telling you it should be. And so I feel like you guys, and not, and everybody's dealt with anxiety in some way, shape, or form, but I feel like you guys have been really susceptible to, even if I'm aware of what things are for me, that confidence isn't there if it's not matching up with the outside forces versus I feel like my generation, some others, while we still have that anxiety, if things didn't match up, it's still like, yeah, no, this is who I am. But it also comes with age too. So that spirit may not have been as strong when I was younger, but I definitely don't feel like I had the anxiety that you guys do either.
Right, right. And
No.
we all know what that like I think the missing I think the like you said the kind of missing ingredient that kind of turned this brew more sour than it already was anxiety. Because I don't feel like your generation was also anxious at this age. Like it's like, okay, I'm done with college. Yeah, I know I got to do something else, but I'm not about to sit here and get anxious about it. Or I know I have my successes, that it is what it is. I am who I am. It wasn't necessarily on a large scale, I'll put it like that, because everybody has dealt with something personally, but on a large scale, I don't think it was anxiety. But for my generation, most definitely. I got a homegirl right now. She was anxious for no reason. She's getting ready to graduate. She's about to be a BSN, about to get her BSN. And for some odd reason, she called me one night crying and just nervous. And I'm like, what are you crying about? You basically already finished school. What are you nervous about at this point?
Hmm.
She's like, I'm just anxious. I'm just anxious. I said, no, 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 no. You've been successful. There is no need to be anxious at this point. Everything from now on, you just take it day by day. And I think that's like you said before, I think that's one thing that my generation is not doing is taking things day by day.
Mm-mm.
I think we're looking so far into the future that we forget to look at where we are right now and just evaluating that. Like we're thinking so much about the house, the car, the family, the trips, the what can I post to Instagram? What can I post to TikTok before it gets banned? Like what can I do that's gonna make people look at me instead of what can I do today that's gonna make an impact in my life?
Well,
So it's always the attention is always on what are people gonna say rather than what am I gonna say?
I think it's also been harder for y'all in the shift because in this social media era, y'all came up being supported. Like us, like for a lot of y'all, social media really came to light in your preteen and teen years.
Yeah,
And so it's very much so easy, even if you don't have the richest background, you can put out an image of success in your teenage years, being supported by your mama, your daddy, or whatever your background may be. It's because it's not the burden's not all on you.
right, right.
Versus now, y'all getting to the point it's like, all the burden is on me. What does success look like? Or even knowing what you're trying to be at. But now it's like, this is the effort it takes to put this on.
Right.
Like we see, especially now that we're coming up, on nicer weather, cookout season, going back to the barbecue thing.
Ooh,
People are like, oh
yeah.
yeah, where's the cookout? Where's the barbecue? And it's like, y'all don't know the effort it takes to put one on, the money, the prep, and and even me coming into it's like, okay, I'm blessed to say, okay, yep, I can put on a cookout. I can be like, yep, call up some friends, come to the house, we're gonna have a cookout, and not be like, hey, I need you to bring the potato salad, you got to bring the chicken, you got like, there's a lot of like, and it's a lot. Versus before when
Bruh,
you were younger, just be like, oh yeah, there was meat on the grill, sides were made,
I
we joined a good time.
I did not realize how hard it was to feed a group.
Hmm.
Excuse my language. To feed a group of niggas. Watch this. In last year, I'm class of 2020. That's my high school graduation class. Teardrop because everything got stolen away from us. We still are a little bitter about that. But I don't want to. No. I don't want to hear it. So what happened was we were planning to do something for our homecoming. You know how different classes they set up a
Hmm.
tent or whatever. So we was like, oh yeah, we're gonna set up some tents. We're gonna do it. Blah 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 blah. First difficult thing is just trying to get money. Because the first decision was, are we gonna raise money and then just have one person go buy everything, or we just gonna have people bring stuff and they just bring whatever they can? It was like, nah, we can't trust niggas. So we had everybody submit some. First of all, trying to get the money. That's the first part. And this is not even day of cooking. We haven't even got there yet. This is like a month out. Not even realizing that there are steps that you have to take, legitimate steps. Even to the point, the day of comes, and one of my classmates' mamas is out there on the grill because we couldn't depend on nobody else. We couldn't depend on nobody else. So, like, I think I think when you've reached a point of adulthood to where you can coordinate and organize a cookout, you've reached another level of adult.
Well,
You've
also,
reached another level of adulthood.
it's y'all. Let's put your age group, your age range is
Yeah,
trying to match a level of cookout that you can't sustain. Like once again, it's the as a kid, this thing is wonderful. All these things are here because I'm not providing anything. And then you see older
nothing.
folk, even it's like okay, yeah, you see as we say, the folk with money now. It's like okay,
Uh huh.
like I remember we in college, I held a fish fry. It was essentially a cookout, but it was a fish fry. Why? Because one, I could get a box of fish for $70 to feed
Right. Right.
enough people, and that was it. Like it wasn't no extravagant, elaborate thing. Literally, we fried some fish. We
Bro,
may
you could
have a
do.
side, but that was it. It wasn't, but y'all, I think, are in the space where you can't do nothing that simple because once again, as you said, you need the picture. You need it to look like it was more than what it
Do you see
was.
what I'm saying?
Like,
I am so I am so in love with the idea of unplugged events right now in my head. Like, let's come over. Like you said, I got a case of fish. I'm gonna fry it. We're gonna have a little couple of fries. We could put on a speaker, have a little music on, couple of you see what I'm saying? And that's a good time.
when I
It
tell you,
doesn't have to be people on tables shaking butt. It ain't gotta be that. It ain't gotta be that.
when I tell you the fish fry at the lighthouse, because that's what we called me and my boy. That's what our house was called. Those who were there and knew what happened, like it was one of the events that year. Like it was like for those, like it was folks still talk about that fish fry. Like,
Bruh. It's a
like, but it
spontaneous
was the
event
most
that you just
simplest
kind of
thing ever.
like,
It was
right,
simple because that's where we were in life. We wasn't trying to do the fully catered, you know. It was a simple college fish fry house party that was jamming that folks still talk about. But it was because we weren't trying to put it on. It wasn't like, okay, yep, we got to have it look this way for the gram or for TikTok to make this banging real to seem like we was doing it bigger than what we was when it was really not. We spent about $100 as college
bruh.
kids
It's
and had a
it's
banging
the
Friday night.
same way. It's the same way, like you said. I mean, my generation, I remember now it was few and far between for the people who actually could do it.
Hmm.
But now it's on a larger scale, right? So back when I remember I had this girlfriend in high school, and for her 16th birthday, baby, she did it up. Had a whole buffet, catered dinner. It was you had to come nice. But we only knew that only certain people who had the good family could do that. We
Uh-huh.
didn't we didn't expect it as the norm. I'm really heart crying out for the generation that's coming behind me or the latter portion of Gen Z, right? I'm very, very concerned off of one thing alone, and that's prom. I don't know if they've popped up on your timeline, maybe not because you don't follow them, but these prom pictures and this whole ordeal is out crazy. It's out of whack
It's
because
not
there is
just
just
prom.
no way in the world you have paid hundreds of dollars just to go sit in your high school gym and only be there for an hour, hour and a half.
So it's not just prom. It's and like I said, I think this is the effect of social media of trying to have that picture. Like it's not just simply having the time to enjoy it anymore. Like it's across baby showers, announcements, kids' birthday parties. Like the amount of my kid is turning 6 this summer. The amount of some of the extravagant birthday parties I've seen for some of these toddlers, it's like
For at one,
at
at
one.
one,
But it's because, like you said, we're all trying to get
the perfect picture,
the
the perfect
perfect
video.
picture or make the perfect reel or have that perfect thing that's like, oh, like, which is sad because it's shifted that emphasis from simply having a good time at whatever it may be to it's now got to look extravagant. Because if you, I don't know about you, but you know, you ever go through your grandmama's old photo books, like to see the pictures that these folks captured and have in these photo albums of just some of the simplest times. Like whether it
Bruh, my
be, my grandfather was is a Mason, my grandmother was an Eastern Star,
wow.
whether it be some event for them or a family cookout or whatever, and it just be the simplest, we in the park, basic.
Bruh, my dad said one of his fondest memories from him growing up. My granddad worked like 3 jobs because it was
Hmm.
like 7 of them. So my granddad, but when he would get paid every now and then, he would load all 7 of his kids and himself in a station wagon.
Hmm.
He'd give my grandmama some money so she could go out and take care of herself. And he would take all the kids, he would get them. He would take them to this little local, we call it the malt shop, kind of like, your little
The ice cream
local
spot. Yeah,
place.
yeah,
Right, right,
yeah.
right. He would take them out for ice cream cones. They'll grab a pizza and they'll go sit out in the park, do that. One of my dad's fondest memories. One of my fondest memories growing up is me and all of my cousins at my grandmother's house, right? There's no room at the table because kids don't sit at the
You don't
table.
sit at the table, no.
So we all sitting on the kitchen floor, crisscross applesauce, eating that hot dog and that hamburger off the grill. Fondest memories. And we're just all having a good, ain't no loud music, not really anything going on. We all drinking a hug juice and getting it in. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, sadly, even if we tried to bring that stuff back or tried to make it in mass again, at least in our culture, is it going to be accepted? What is it going to be viewed
It
as?
don't, I don't give a damn if it's accepted. And I think that's part of the problem is is y'all are looking for some of this acceptance.
Yeah,
Because going back to your original thing, like as I get older, it's the simpler things that matter. Now granted, I want to enjoy a good time. I want to have nice things. I want it to, but
right,
I'm not going to, the end all be all isn't on if this thing looks immaculate. Like at the end of the day, I'm trying to enjoy my time with the people I love.
yeah,
And that's going to be a big thing. We haven't talked about it really too much here, but I'm sure there'll be a relationship convo that comes up at some point. We need to get back to things being simpler. And I think, unfortunately, like the way technology and society has just advanced and been able to, like, you can do more now. We're earning like all these things. It's just putting that pressure and causing that anxiety. Like, okay, because I can, I should, or I have to. But that's not always the case.
right, right. Like, I'm texting this female right now or whatever, right? This young lady. And
But I say,
I
they gonna
could
come at you for the female.
manfully, yeah, that's why I said I had to fix that. I had to fix that. A lot of people find that degrading. I did not mean it in any form of degradation. It's not a degrading term. I promise you it's not. But I'm texting her right now. And the fact of the matter is, I really could text her all day. But do I? No, because I know there's still room to build up to it. My mom said something so good to me the other day. She was like, I see you texting somebody new, huh? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. She's talking about how long is it gonna be before you go see her? I said, I said, I'm in no rush. And she was just basically like, Xavier, I know you must be getting older for real. Because that was a sign of your maturity. It's basically you saying that there is no rush. Like there is no rush in just because I can, that doesn't mean I have to do. That was really good. That was really good. That was really good.
Yeah, it's we might have to put a pin in this now because we could just go on and on. But yeah,
Oh, we could
it's
go with that one. We
yeah,
could go with
we could
that one.
go. But yeah, honestly, it comes down to as I get older, just how do I want to spend my time?
Yeah.
And there are just certain things I don't want to be crowded unless I have to be. I'm not going to be standing on my feet all damn day anymore. Like I used to be able to do that. No, now I need some comfort. I need to know that I gonna have a place to sit down.
Walk around with my own folding chair.
You know, I need a beverage that's not necessarily liquor every now and then that I'm
Right.
not gonna
To
pay 50
rehydrate
million dollars
yourself.
for just to hide. So it's you know, but once again, that just comes with maturity and things progressing. And I don't hate on like if like I say, if you was out here like, yeah, I'm in the club every night, I ain't hating on you 'cause I remember them days. And if that's the phase of life you in, enjoy
Go
it.
right ahead.
Enjoy
Get
it
your
and get it in.
please.
So because at the end of because on the backside is it's I'm not longing for it either. Like there are sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, I do miss, but as a whole, I'm not like, oh, I got to get into the club this weekend or I got to have that
That's
all
what it
night. It's like,
is.
nah, I enjoyed my time. I had my stretch.
And
I,
that's what people need to do in mass. Just realize where they are is where they are, where you are is where you are. Let's respect each points of life. Now, if you experience a person and you feel like they're in a season longer than they should be, only if you have that relationship with that person, that's the only time you should be approaching them about that. But there should never be a reason that these people get on here with these podcast equipments and they dog out another generation because of the decisions that you've previously made before. There's never been a reason for that.
sir, you're gonna get dogged out sometimes because y'all do some stupid stuff. But anyways, Y and Z. What this is, it's a conversation between the generations where we try to get some understanding about the differences or similarities we may have to appreciate where we are in one's life.
Yeah.
Sometimes some dogging out needs to happen because that generation is special. But anyways, before we get out of here, we like to put each other on to some recommendations. So we ain't got too much time, but what you gonna put me on this week, youngin?
Man, this past weekend I had the pleasure of purchasing a nice piece of steak. I haven't cooked it yet. But I want to ask you about it. Have you ever had Wagyu?
I have. I have.
How do you have you ever cooked it or have you ever only eaten it?
So Wagyu just speaks to the fat content within the meat.
Right, right, right.
So it's going to make it when done right, it should be an easier piece of meat to make taste good because you have the higher fat content.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not really a recommendation because I knew especially with your international palate, I knew you've had it before. I knew you've had it,
It's a
but I
special
just
piece
wanted
of
to
meat.
ask
It's good.
your opinion about it and how I should, treat it, how I should, do it, things like that. So I don't have to go in feeling all heavy-handed with the seasonings with it.
No, just again, cooking is like life.
Yeah.
As I said, like the judges' taste buds, I feel was off at the competition I was at over the weekend because we did all right, but
Man, that junk looks so good.
we
If
ain't where
y'all
we were
make
supposed to
sure
be.
y'all go look at Jay Clark's. Is it on your page, your Facebook
Oh,
page,
I
Instagram
have
page?
it's on my IG. I have an entire, because you can save,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
collection.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have an
yeah.
entire collection dedicated to my grill work. So, if you want to get you a
The
little
man
what's
be
the word
grilling. I ain't
anytime.
gonna hold y'all. The
Hey,
man be grilling.
hey, give me a grill, some meat, a drink, and good day. I'm chilling. Once again,
He
the simple things.
chilling. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I need to make my way to his house just to sit out there for one full day. We're gonna come out there and do Y and Z the divide in person.
I'm saying you only about 5 hours away, bro. We can make it happen.
Exactly. Know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's right there.
catch a
Just
road trip. I
had
got
a
the guest room.
smoke.
I
Had
got
a
the guest room.
smoke.
Come on, come on.
Bro, I got you, man. I got you. That he cold on that grill. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh yeah, but yeah, nah. Keep seasoning how you like, but it's just gonna make it easier to kind
Okay.
of, allow time to let the fat render and all.
Yeah, yeah.
You hit me up. Yeah, I got you. I got you. No problem. My
What you got for me,
recommendation this week is which I'm pretty sure you probably already heard that Euphoria.
bro? Chris?
No, no, not Chris. That's
Oh
Kendrick.
no, this is, but that I'll tell you, like the Chris, Drake, Kendrick. Who else hopped in that beef? Did Metro? Metro ain't really hop in
I,
there, but I mean,
I don't care about who hopped in. You got to hear this. You,
Oh
if you
no,
haven't
you
heard
know
it
I
before,
did. You know I
yeah,
did.
yeah. Like I felt that hate and I loved it. Like it's been a while since I was like, I feel what you putting out on this track. Like I was like, I
Kendrick
believe you, Kendrick. You hate this nigga right now, and I'm all for it. And so I need that kind of passion in all forms of music again.
his lyricism is stupid. It's stupid. That's all I was saying.
Like
His lyricism.
that's my recommendation. Is if you are out there and you are one of the few who has not heard Euphoria yet, check that shit out because that's straight
Please,
old school.
me,
That's straight. Like that's
me.
when we talk about that feeling in music that isn't there right now or isn't around. Like
That's
that's in
that
that pocket.
old nitty gritty passion.
Yeah, like he took it straight. Bernie Mac and don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. I hate you, and just listed the reasons. I was like, damn, yeah.
Bro, I mean, it was what we wanted though. If we being real, is what we wanted. It's what we
Mm-hmm.
expected from
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick, at least. It's what we
Mm-hmm.
expected. And I think the beautiful thing about it is he gave us exactly what we wanted.
And delivered. Right? Ain't shied behind nothing. Called it out. Put it all out there.
Straight shooting. Straight shooting. Ain't no
And
silence on that gun.
oh no,
It's
no,
loud.
no. That was cacao. Hear this, and then raise your hand. Yep, I fired. I fired. Ain't no, we got to guess. It's cacao. Hey, yeah, that was
That
me.
was me.
Yeah, that was me.
Me.
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here
So
for that kind of energy. But yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, I agree. Y'all, please, by the time we get to next episode, we'll listen to you for you.
But anyways, my brother, thank you once again. This is Y and Z Conversation Between the Generations. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate every view, every listen, every comment, every question, whatever it may be. We appreciate you
Oh yeah.
allowing us to be a part of your day, your week, whatever it may be. Spread the word, continue to do all that good jazz. And until next time, be safe out there, be sane. There's a lot going in the world. Find
Most
your joy.
definitely.
Find your joy.
Yeah.
Peace
That's
out.
how we the internet. Find your joy.
With the
No,
balloons. Hey,
no.
there we go. There we
Ah,
go. Till
ah.
next time, y'all.
Peace out.